Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Happy Monday, and thank you so much for being Up+Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Appreciate you more than you know. Big thanks to Megan Freiberg, who spells her name M-E-A-G-A-N-I, like an idiot, called her Megan, and she was just too sweet to correct me. And of course, she's, big thing on campus when the Central Coast Writers Conference going around, so everyone's like, Megan, Megan, Megan. I'm like, wait a second. I've been saying her name wrong, and she was too nice and sweet to even correct me. So now that I could say her name correctly, I can give her shout outs she deserves for the incredible Central Coast Writers Conference. What an experience that was. That was really something special. Thank you so much, Megan, her team, the volunteers. There were listeners there and people. Oh, it was just so sweet. It was so neat. People were so kind. And the art of the interview, the workshop, it went really, really well. I had some great questions. I was really in it. It was fun. Just a rewarding time. I'll never forget it. And if they ever had me back, I would go again and put another spin on stuff. Who knows? So thanks so much to the Central Coast Writers Conference. Got a chance to meet Rob Edwards. We had a great interview with him. He was very complimentary. Of course, a lot of people with the conference had listened to the interview and came up and said great things to both him and I. So thank you for saying something to him, because he came up to me later and was like, yeah, just gonna let you know, I got it, blah, blah, blah. So that just meant a ton. This guy, Rob Edwards, if you didn't hear that interview last week, whew, dude wrote Full House, In Living Color, Fresh Prince, and then, oh yeah, Marvel, Captain America, oh yeah, Princess and the Frog. He is just a writing icon, screenwriting legend. So that was cool. Very cool. So thanks so much to everyone involved with the Central Coast Writers Conference. Just have to put that out there and give them a ton of love. Now, later on Up+Adam, we're cracking open more than a beer. We're cracking open a story. Firestone Walker has just extended its partnership with Cal Poly through 2028, and the official craft beer of the Mustangs, Cal Poly Gold, rolling out in a limited seasonal release. It's clean, classic lager style, brewed with noble hops. But behind the gold can, something bigger. Scholarships for student athletes, internships for future brewers, and a deep, decades-long relationship between our hometown brewery and the university down the road. So I'm stoked. Nick Firestone, the man at the helm of Firestone Walker, their CEO, is going to join me to talk about the year that's been, the highs, the curveballs, and a 30th anniversary that's around the corner, about to go off. We'll also get into the cult beers they've retired and resurrected, the Mustang takeover happening inside the brew house, and why making a simple lager can be harder and even more meaningful than chasing the next trend. So that's all coming up, along with the possibility of a one-on-one beer pong match I may or may not have challenged the CEO to, so check it out. Don't miss that, coming up in just a minute. All right, before we get into the chat, a couple quick hits. Zach Bryan just put himself in the record book. Saturday night, Zach headlined the first ever concert at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. There were 112,408 fans in attendance, which set the record for the largest ticketed concert in U.S. history. The previous biggest crowd, also in country music, one of the Godfathers, George Strait, had a 2024 Texas show. He played in front of 110,905 people. The 3-hour, 27-song set was Zach's last scheduled show of 2025, and fans in attendance said it felt more like a festival than a standalone gig. There were 6 acts that played for over 7 hours total. Zach walked out in a Charles Woodson, Michigan jersey, and the highlight of the night was when he played Revival during the encore, and then it went straight into fireworks. For reference, a couple years ago, he was playing for fewer than 3,000 people at the Fillmore in Detroit. On Saturday, he played a show in front of more than 112,000. Put that into perspective. Wow. Other entertainment news. Last night during Sunday Night Football, Bad Bunny was announced as the headliner for the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show, but he might not have been their first choice. Taylor Swift was allegedly in negotiations, but she turned it down because she didn't want to do it for free. I don't blame you. An unnamed music executive says that she wasn't asking for favors. She was asking for respect. Taylor knows her worth, and she knows the kind of ratings she brings, the global attention that she commands. She wasn't about to hand it over for nothing. I don't blame her for that one. Super Bowl 60 goes down February 8th at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, which is the home to, yes, the San Francisco 49ers. And finally, it's hard enough to talk to kids when they're not distracted, but if you put the internet in their hands, it's game over. A new survey, the average kid under the age of 18 is holding a phone 52% of the time when their parents are trying to have a conversation with them. And it's not just a kid problem. The same parents say their partner is holding a phone 58% of the time they're trying to talk to them. Only 74% of parents report that they've had a device-free conversation within the past week. So at least some parents are making no phone rules a certain at times, like maybe during dinner, family movie nights, family outings. Overall, 78% of parents are worried about spending less time in real conversations with their kids. And I almost wonder if there's no going back now. The best you're going to get is to negotiate when all phones must be put away. And that goes for kind of parents too. According to this study, most kids rely on you to pay for their phones and services plans. So you do have some leverage there. I don't know if parents want to necessarily deal with the ramifications of using it, but it's not all bad. It can be nice to have your children reachable 24/7, I imagine, too. All right, I'm excited to get into our chat with Nick Firestone. Before that, I want to tell you about our friends at Life Elements. Here is why I believe in Life Elements. I've seen what they do. I've walked in without hesitation. Martha's handing me something to rub on my elbow, asking me how I'm doing. And you feel it. The care, the creativity, the magic, every product backs it up. And I don't think we are out of bug spray season yet. So I love that theirs has essential oils like cedarwood, lemongrass, citronella, totally safe for your skin, your pets, and the planet. The Relief Stick with CBD, been using it on my knee recently. My dad's been using it on his knee for over a year. Healing, real healing. In addition to their spot in A-Town, you can shop their products at the Hive in Arroyo Grande, the General Store in Paso, and of course, lifeelements.com. When you're there, use the promo code Adam. Save 15% off your cart, lifeelements.com. But come on, I encourage you to go in, check them out. 7425 El Camino Real. Meet Kurt, meet Martha, and see what happens when good people make great things. Lifeelements.com. Let them know you heard them on Up+Adam.
It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, my guest today is part of a family legacy that helped shape craft beer in SLO County and beyond. He's the president of Firestone Walker Brewing Company, the CEO, I think, officially. He's probably both. A brand that's become synonymous with quality, with innovation, and with community. From the cult status of the 805 to the hop-forward punch of Mind Haze to the new chapter being written with Cal Poly Gold, Nick Firestone is not just carrying the torch, he is lighting new fires with Firestone Walker, just extending its partnership with Cal Poly through 2028. We've got a lot to toast to. Nick Firestone, my man, thank you so much for being Up+Adam. Yeah. That's how it goes, my man. Cheers. It's really good to see you, dude.
Likewise.
Firestone in the house and with this new beer. Look, on paper, Nick, this is like, oh, it's a beer partnership, a lager with a college logo. But when you zoom in, or rather when you zoom out, you've got legacy, education, local pride, alumni loyalty, and a brewery that's particularly part of, I mean, it's almost like part of Cal Poly curriculum, right? I mean, Firestone is just ingrained here. What does this partnership really actually mean to you? Not just as the brewery president, but maybe as someone who's watching the next generation learn by doing, grow, and drink beer that you help build.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about it. There's a lot of people at the brewery who are very pumped about this partnership. I'll just say, it's easy for us to think it was just, we think very highly of ourselves that we created this brewery in Paso, and it's almost turns 30 next year. But it's almost no coincidence that just down the street is Cal Poly, and they've got a world-class fermentation sciences program. And when you look inside of our brewery org chart, you look at our entire management team, there's over 100 years of experience at our brewery from Cal Poly alums. So,
wow.
So this is really just kind of a celebration of that true connection.
Before we get too deep into the gold cans and good times, 2025's been a year. Big wins, few curveballs, 30-year milestone peeking around the corner, right? What's the story of this year for Firestone Walker, and what's kind of like the vibe right now?
Well, for any brewer right now, or winery, or distillery, it's like a tough environment. There's no question. I'd say we're hanging in there. We're still having fun. We're very excited about the 30-year coming up. We got a bunch of celebrations planned, but we're just sort of still doing what we're doing. I mean, there's nothing panic, no reason to panic, but yeah, everything's cool. What
do those 30-year anniversary celebrations look like? What are you guys kind of planning and spitballing right now? What can you kind of leak to us and share with us first?
No, stay tuned, I'll say, for the full answer. But we do an anniversary beer every year, which we started, I think, over a decade ago, and we bring in a bunch of winemakers.
It's one of the coolest. I got to sit in on one time.
Did.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Watch out for Sherman Thatcher.
Yeah, he's got a lot of wins.
Yeah, right. He's got a lot of W's there.
So we'll do a big 30-year. I think we'll probably blow that up a little bit, and obviously the Invitational. We've got some fun collaborations coming, and hopefully we'll celebrate the whole year.
Craft beer, it seems like almost like wine, where it's not just about flavor, it's about story, it's about identity, loyalty, right? And Firestone, you guys have all mastered that long game. How do you build the kind of trust with a community that you guys have seemed to really, nail down, and where your beer almost becomes part of someone's ritual, someone's pattern of their fridge?
Yeah. I mean, the Cal Poly example is a good testament to this, but we've got great people in the brewery. I mean, we've got, and I said this before, but I'm going to reiterate, our head of packaging, head of engineering, head of production, in our lab, in HR, finance is all, Cal Poly alums who have been with us for, in some cases over 20 years. And so, those people, the cool thing about a brewery is, like, all of our staff live out in the community. And so that tie-in is just really natural, I'd say. But then there's partnerships like this, where we go find our friends down the street at Cal Poly. So we met with the president, with Cody Van Dorn, with their whole team there, and sort of dreamed this up a number of years ago. And I think I've told you this before, Adam, like, we are a bad corporate sponsor. We just are not good at it. But true partnerships, true collaborations is something that I think we're getting better at. And
you excel at that.
Yeah, and it's because it's genuine. There's real tie-in. Our Authentico program is an example of that, and this was a true collaboration. And it's not just about the beer. There's a lot of other angles about the partnership.
I love how you said that, and I don't know if that sentence would have rang any truer to me than today, because this morning, just happenstance, I interviewed the CEO of Strauss, Henning Strauss, the partnership with Major League Baseball, Metallica, whatever. And he was talking about just like, obviously a German-born dude from Germany, company is too, but went to school at Pepperdine and, was an exchange student in Southern California. So, like, California runs through his blood. Like, you has a place in Venice, so like, or an outfit for the brand in Venice. And he was just like, when we get a part of something like MLB or something, we want to collab big. Like, we want to go above just like corporate sponsor, Yeah. We want to dive in.
Yeah.
And it really makes sense when I heard him say that the way he did today. And you could see why it's so rewarding for a brand, its team, to collaborate like that.
Yeah. And you can only do it in when there's a genuine fit on both sides. Do a true partnership. Otherwise, you're just sort of throwing your logo on something, and it's just, it has less meaning.
Yeah. Let's talk about the lager, because the lager, when did it first debut? I feel like I remember interviewing Matt back on the radio with the Cork Dorks, and he's had this great thing he signed for us. The lager was fantastic.
Yeah.
It had a lot of good fanfare. And then for whatever reason, you guys made the decision to pull the plug on it. And I was always kind of like, hey, are we bringing the lager back? What's going on? This is a lager. Is this kind of like a rebranding? Are we kind of doing a little litmus test? Obviously, it's a collaboration with Cal Poly, but as far as the lager, having it, pulling it, reintroducing it, where do we stand with what this SKU means?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the market always has a say, and we've got a lot of beers, that we've made and then discontinued that, maintain a cult following. We hear about it. You can talk to our customer service rep. He gets a lot of emails. Bring Wookiee back.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I mean, I think, look, our brewers love making lagers. We all love drinking lagers. This is just a very simple, straightforward, drinkable, sort of Helles style lager. Premium hops, premium malt bill, and it is what it says it is.
Yeah.
No frills, but we'll keep making lagers.
Making a simple lager, it's almost like rosé for a winery. It could feel simple, it could feel easy, but rosé is one of the tougher wines to make, and a lager to dial it in and get real specific and perfect it can't be easy. Flavor profile, what did Matt, Dustin, the whole team at Firestone, yourself, what did we really want to accomplish with this lager from a profile standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think this one is really all about drinkability, and we didn't want to make a beer that was sort of so nuanced or name your avenue of
Right.
what you're trying to develop, but was so intense or high alcohol or hoppy or whatever that you wouldn't drink it. I mean, this is all about.
It can't be too niche.
Can't be too niche. This is mainstream.
Yeah.
We wanted everybody who, alumni, students who can drink, teachers, anybody that's associated with the school or anybody that's associated with Firestone Walker to be able to pick it up and cheers with it. So
You guys are so good with the imaging, the graphics, the presentation, the packaging. I know it's really important to you. This design, how are we dialing this in? How painstaking is it of meetings and proofs and different variations of it where we settled on this butte right here?
yeah, it's this is not easy. Normally we have a hard enough time as it is with just ourselves, in the room designing cans. This one we actually had to make two entities happy. So the Cal Poly, the university, and we collaborated a bunch with their team and sort of settled on this. And, I think it's a perfect balance between our two, the university and our brewery. It's, as you see it, you can see our logo, but you can, the Cal Poly Mustang really jumps out at you.
And do they kind of lean on you? Because look, it needs to move. It needs to sell on shelves. That's your business. You know how to do that. They obviously have a lot of T's they want to cross and I's they want to dot. Do they kind of lean on you, or were you surprised to go, oh man, they got some opinions here. They got some feedback.
Yeah, no, they definitely have feedback and thoughts, and we wanted to honor them and make sure it wasn't, it represented the school, and it is just as much their product as it is ours. So,
like you mentioned a second ago, there's so many pros at Firestone. You got Cal Poly grads there, maybe in every department, brewers, chemists, engineers, operators.
I think we do have a grad in every department.
Is that right?
It's crazy.
It's like a Mustang takeover behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I bet you if you polled any other brewery or any other winery in the county, they'd more or less say the same thing. I mean,
oh my God,
we're super blessed.
I just thought of this. You can pay me later for this.
Poly.
On the back of this can, the next print, learn by brewing.
Yeah, that is actually pretty good.
Right? Yeah, I'll let you keep that one.
Okay.
You can just kind of get me on the side,
That'll be the new brewing program's motto.
Yeah, learn by brewing. I think that's great. What's it like, though, watching these students go from walking campus to running your brew house in different departments? How has their energy kind of shaped the way you lead and the way Firestone in the business leads?
Yeah, I mean, what's cool is... I don't know what the age range is of Cal Poly alumni in the school, but or in the brewery, but it's it's substantial. I think our longest tenured employee from Cal Poly is maybe 24 years, 25 years. And we weren't much of a brewery when we were 6, so it's pretty early. But it's been cool. I mean, you watch, and I grew up alongside the brewery, but watching some of our employees, longtime employees, grow up alongside the brewery too has been pretty cool. Have children. We have a couple, parent children employees at the brewery, which is cool. But no, it's been cool. It's a supernatural partnership, as I said.
So Firestone starts with 2 guys big dream, 1996, right?
Yeah.
Now 805 is an absolute phenomenon. Mind Haze is everywhere. And your barrel program has like its own mythology. I mean, it's just renowned. As you stare down 30 years next year, what is the emotional legacy of this brewery to you? And what do you kind of hope still echoes when people talk about Firestone in 100 years?
I mean, there's a couple things. The first is, our motto is beer before glory. So everything we do is about the beer. And if the next 30 years, we're still making great beer that, hopefully at least somebody is talking to. If there's somebody that's drinking it, we'll keep making it. But for me personally, I grew up, my first job was as a dishwasher in the tap room. And, I worked in a bunch of various jobs throughout the years, and I got 3 kids. So for me, the legacy is like at some point, my daughter or my son, they're going to be they're starting in the dish pit for sure. But,
yeah. They got to. If you did, they got to. That's pretty cool. This partnership, it's cool because this beer is like a beer with purpose, right? This partnership is going to fund scholarships, internships, and opportunities for Cal Poly students. So it's got a higher purpose. How important it really is it to you that Firestone isn't just in this community, but it's actually building in this community?
Yeah, I think extremely important. With this beer and this partnership, it wasn't just, hey, let's sponsor the school or let's get involved with the school. It was, how can we build a real 360 program to tie in with, this wealth of knowledge at Cal Poly. And it's worth noting, I didn't even apply to Cal Poly back in the day because there's no chance I could have gotten in. So we're hoping to tap into that all that brain power. But we've we're working on an internship program. We're involved in their job fair. We host a number of students for tours and student groups. We've had projects at the brewery. We've had Matt, Dustin, Ollie, people have spoken at the Cal Poly campus. So that's the pinnacle of this partnership is real tie-in. The beer is really a celebration of that relationship, but again, it's less about just sort of sponsoring it and throwing a banner up. It's about how do we tie in with the school and sort of leverage each other's strengths back and forth.
I imagine like every company has like those moments where like the easy route is like right there, but you bet on something bigger. What's a decision that maybe you guys made at Firestone that really could have gone either way, but you trusted your gut and man, did it pay off?
I mean, that's a great question. I think, obviously there's a couple examples of that. I think if I give a nod to my old man and my uncle, when they first jumped into what was the defunct Slow Brewing Company back in the day, that was a real leap of faith. They were making one beer, DBA, in an old custom crush warehouse in a Chardonnay vineyard, and they ended up moving into a purpose built, roughly 30,000 barrel capacity brew house here in North County, and I think that was a sort of a gutsy move, if I have to tip my hat to them.
Yeah, that's a cool story. What's the most underrated beer at Firestone, you think?
I have to say it, Cali Squeeze. Cali Squeeze Blood Orange. It's
and I love you brought that up because that's an interesting saga. And if you're local, that slow brew history. Yeah. But this was an acquisition, I don't know, maybe less than 10 years ago ish.
Yeah, well, no, not even. It was we picked it up in 2021.
Oh shoot! Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So like not even 5 years ago. Yeah. And then talk about this one a little bit and how it's moving right now.
Yeah, it's doing great. It's underrated. I think is when people come to the brewery, they talk about Pivo, they talk about the award winners, and I'm going to get hell for this from the brewers, but there's something about Cali Squeeze on a hot day. So we knew the Slow Brewing guys down the street. Obviously, our brewery actually, when we first moved into it, was in Paso, was the Slow Brewing Company, and it traded hands and sort of popped up back here at where the Rock is here in Slow. And they were making a great beer called Cali Squeeze Blood Orange, and they had sort of hit their capacity and had talked to us about what a swap could look like, and we ended up picking it up from them. And I don't even like calling it an acquisition because it just sort of made sense for them and made sense for us.
Sure.
And that beer it's doing really well.
And when Matt, Dustin, the team, they all get their hands on this beer, you don't want to fix what's not broken. There's a reason why this swap made sense. Yeah. But look, we got the best in the business as far as brain power on beer in our four walls. Let's put our spin on this. Let's put our fingerprint on this.
For sure.
How do you do that?
Well, it was kind of it wasn't just Matt and the brew team. I mean, it was also on the design team, packaging. How are we going to sort of move this over? Yeah. Our sales team had to figure out.
It looks great. When you see it on the shelf or you see an end cap, I mean, it pops in a store.
And on the design element, I mean, you have to, when you rebrand something, you have to think about what components were there. It was a successful, Slow Brewing Company was setting the world on fire with this beer. And we didn't want to change it, go complete 180 with it. So how do you keep some of the elements, but also kind of put our touch on it? And I think our team did an amazing job doing that with the design, packaging, with also with the beer itself. We had to figure out how to actually brew it on our system, and fruit in beer is also its own kind of unique challenge. Yeah. And our team just crushed it.
Are you drinking beers all the time? I mean, you look way too healthy to be drinking as many beers as I bet a lot of your customers do. But tell me, like, what are some of the go-tos? Like, what's in your fridge right now at the crib? Yeah. What are some things when you're stopping by, you visit the tap room for a minute, say hi to some people, get a little pour? What's going to be?
Yeah, there's only one answer for me, and I just love beer. I love everyone else's beers, but I do genuinely love. You're not supposed to get high on your own supply, but I just, I'm a flawed man, so I like drinking our beer.
Well, you're in wine country, and these winemakers, what do they all say? I got to make what I like.
Yeah,
because if I don't sell it,
and I tell all my wine buddies, most of whom are actually Cal Poly grads, but I just tell them it takes a lot of great beer to make good wine. So we have a good swap program going. Yeah. But DBA for me, double barrel ale. I brushed my teeth with it. I put a little in my hair before I came into the studio, and that's always in my fridge. It's just you can't find that many beers. I don't think you can find any beers that are fermented in oak barrels, and it just gives it this taste that's unbelievable.
I got into beer one of the ways because I never really liked beer growing up when I was younger, but back in the Eric Ponce days, and Matt was coming in the studio with the old the barrel aged and the Manhattans and this. I'm like, these guys are not only doing the DBAs and the whatever, like they're doing the Wookiees and the thing and the unions, but they're making these beers that have these like barrel profiles. Like you're talking my language now that I'm into wine. Yeah. So that was like my kind of like gateway, and it got me into like the rest of them. So I've always just, and like I mentioned earlier, like your barrel program is really something that people revere. Even like winemakers look to it and go, it's some fantastically produced stuff. Where does the barrel program sit now? What kind of like innovations are we talking from that aspect of things?
Yeah, I mean, we've got real pedigree in our barrel program. It's Jordan Ziegler is running the program still, and after Eric left, and he's doing a great job with it. We actually moved the barrels on campus right next to the tap room, so there's this sort of cathedral of barrels that you sit out and have lunch.
Where were they before?
Patio. They were sort of tucked in, kind of in the depths of the brewery.
Got it.
And you kind of want it to be dark and cold, and it was all that. But now we've sort of got it highlighted on campus, which is as it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried the other night. We just launched a barrel aged beer called Bendy Foldies, and the reason it's called Bendy Foldies is because my uncle David Walker, whenever he sees a beer that looks very expensive to make, which this one was because of all the adjuncts, vanilla and things, it looks expensive, so he says, "Oh, that must be a lot of Bendy Foldies."
Yeah, right.
So that's called Bendy Foldies.
I feel like I'm getting deja vu. Like he must have talked. I think he flirted with this conversation a little bit. Either he did or you did at the beer fest with me.
At the Invitational, yeah.
So is this could just come out?
Yeah, I mean, it takes. I think it aged over a year. So
wow.
We've been talking about this one for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Is it like a premium beer?
Yeah, it's a barrel aged, similar to our Parabola.
So it's got all the.
Oh, it's a big beer.
Yeah, for sure. And then probably it's one of those beers where I've seen like your Parabolas like on eBay. Like people will resell these things for profit, and like isn't that wild? Where like you're taking a beer and you're reselling it to like great scalability. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that's Matt on eBay. So no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Matt.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. So 805 at a bonfire or Mind Haze at a backyard wedding? What's like a go-to? What's just like a fun between those beers? What sounds just like
those two?
Yeah, for right now. Yeah,
I think Mind Haze for me at a wedding. It's sort of wedding season, at least in in this area.
I'm with you, man.
So yeah, I do a Mind Haze.
All right, Cal Poly Gold. Is it available?
It's out. It's available. It's only sort of local, so you can only find it really in the county, in our tap rooms. It's a limited release, so we'll do a couple of these drops every year in 12 packs. Great value and just a crisp, easy drinking beer.
Imagine with like the homesickness and the alumni. Like I can imagine a dude who's a lawyer, graduated 10 years in Cal Poly. Now he lives in Duluth. And he's like, I want this 12 pack. How do I get? I mean, do you have the ability to like buy these, ship them? Is it a thing where like people who want that Cal Poly Mustang on their can to feel that school spirit that they still have?
I don't know if you can order these online and we'll ship them. It's a great question.
Yeah.
What I will say is
find them on eBay.
Yeah, you can. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
Just through my interactions with the school and having gone to a couple of football games and whatnot, I do know that the Cal Poly alumni is about as tight as you can be. I mean, they're really passionate about the school. They're super involved.
So look, if I go to like Kruko, get my hot dog and beer at a game, this will be here.
This should be there. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Tell me about the 805. One of the last times I had talked to you and Matt, we were launching that. I know non-alcoholic, that trend is massive right now. And if you can get, I know my winery friends are just trying to like figure out how to make it taste like wine.
Yeah.
And some of them have dialed it in with beer. The 805, fantastic. Where we sit right now with that and how is that moving?
Yeah, it's good. So we launched it kind of mid-January this year, which was we were already behind the curve. And it's doing really well. I think it's a top 5 craft NA in the state already.
Amazing.
And, that's another kind of easy drinking, tastes like a beer and tastes close to a beer. And,
you're the second person this week that told me they were behind the grind when it came to NA.
Yeah.
Like everyone who looks at it that's in the business, dude, I should have been on this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's, you don't know, you don't see everything. And I had the gal from, Yes Cocktail Company.
Yeah.
They're celebrating their 10-year anniversary in a couple weeks. And Lauren was in here maybe a week ago. And she pushed that hard about a year or so ago and was even like, no, I should have been on that way earlier. Like if I only got on that way earlier, because that is a trend that and look, you can attribute a lot of different things to it. Maybe it's Gen Z. Maybe there is this neo-temperance movement that's happening and being surfaced. There's these stories and things like that. I don't know if it's all fair, but there are certain people who just don't want to have alcohol as much of a presence in their life, but they love the taste or the memories of a beer or of some wine, and I totally get that. Yeah. So talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah. No, there's a lot that's sort of swirling at the moment on this whole topic. We were behind the curve, not because we weren't paying attention, but mostly because they're really hard to make. You think about brewing a beer that doesn't have alcohol in it is sort of...
Do you spin it out? Like, what do you do?
There's 2 ways to do it. You can either de-alkalize, so you brew basically a full-strength beer, and then you go through this process to strip the alcohol out of it.
What do you lose from it then?
Exactly. You lose flavors, and then there's and I'm still learning about this, but there's processes to basically maintain the flavor profile even after stripping all the alcohol out of it. And then you can... the other way is sort of a less than 0.5%. You can brew a very low strength beer, and with different techniques, you can get it under that threshold, which is what most sort of craft NAs are doing. But it's just not an easy process.
Yeah. What's on the horizon? I know we were talking off the air. You guys are already talking 26.
Yeah.
We're already talking. Probably. You're talking about Firestone Invitational Beer Fest 26, the day after 25. Where are we at right now with like what's happening in the fall? Of course, this beautiful release. Talk about Oktoberfest and really what's on the horizon for Firestone. Yeah,
so we've got, we're continuing to innovate, sort of innovate sensibly. We've got Oktoberfest that we just launched. Obviously, we're getting close to the actual Oktoberfest celebration here. So it's right in time for the fall. We've got some, we've got winter seasonal coming out. We just launched, probably the biggest news at the brewery is we just launched 805 Chelada, which is, like you'd think. I don't know if you've had a Modelo or a Bud Chelada, but it's 24-ounce can. We did a limited test in sort of the local area, and it's doing really well. And it's really balanced. It's sort of sweet, savory, and
so is this kind of like, do you notice some certain SKUs hit with certain demographics? Like, oh, the Michelada, it's great with like, I don't know, like, or do all communities seem to buy into these SKUs evenly? Or do you go, oh man, like the Latino community, like, or this area regionally,
right?
Definitely they're bombing on it. Or maybe it's this, how does that work with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, Chelada, there's definitely different, drinking preferences, but you got to be careful sort of, ascribing anything. I'll give you a good example. So Cali Squeeze, when we bought it and the sort of the going thought process around Cali Squeeze Blood Orange was that it was a more sort of female beer. It's fruitier and it almost couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, you go into our tap room right now and you'll see, big
burly
up motorcycle guy showing up drinking.
Like, guy with a cut comes in with a motorcycle club cut and just comes in.
Yeah, so I think, I think drinking preferences is a very personal thing. The thing about Chelada, though, is that it's primarily a convenience, single serve, convenience and venue play. So you can't buy it necessarily in grocery stores, and that's where those types of beers are typically consumed. And so, and then the purchasing process for something like a single serve 24-ounce can of Chelada is different. It's maybe someone who's just gotten off work, and maybe it's somebody who's just wants to have a kind of a one and done for the night or whatever it is. But that's different than someone who's shopping at a grocery store for a 12-pack.
I feel like wine folks now are more permissive of like, oh yeah, you put ice in it. You did all these things used to be so like just sacrilegious back in the day. And I probably remember some of my earlier talks with Matt about beer and putting limes in beers and things like that. I feel like a lot of this stuff is more permissible now. Like people are just like, hey, however you like to drink it, go ahead. Yeah,
I mean, we still debate it all the time. What should a brewery be engaged in? And for me, I think if people are going to drink it and it's balanced and and there's some thought process behind it and it's sort of true to what you set out to pursue, I think I'm cool with that. We make a hard seltzer for our tap rooms, and it's it's on fire. It's a ranch water right now, and
I love that. That's a cool name.
We pour it into ice with a lime on the side, and
vodka
it does really well.
I don't know.
Tequila.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. I've asked this question to Matt a lot, and it's one of those questions that I'll ask Matt maybe every other time I interview him, because I notice the answers, they evolve, and it's about being a brewery in wine country. And there's no more exciting wine country area in the world than Paso Wine Country. It is just humming, all 8 cylinders. It's beautiful what's happening right now. What is it like? What are your feelings when you put your finger on the pulse of the wine country you live in and have your business in? And what kind of things do you feel that Firestone adopts from that great community?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you say. I mean, the wines here are just tremendous. And, I've talked to the other brewery owners in the area, and we, it's like we sometimes compete against one another, and it's because we're all competitive. But you think about how many wineries there are, and they all kind of find a way to get along.
I know, right?
And so I think Paso, in this area in particular, just the county, I think we've got some amazing breweries here. And, I think the more that we do collectively to sort of put the county on the map, on the beer map,
right,
is all the better.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, I've loved chatting with you. I always love our time when we get a kind of chance to wrap a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to challenge you to a small, humble, gentleman game of beer pong. Are you down?
I'm down.
Let
her ride.
I love this. Let's take this Cal Poly Gold. We'll do a little. Now, did you play beer pong back in the day? Like, it's been about 8 years since I played it.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot in college. I'll just say that. I went to the Naval Academy, so it's like we had pretty strict rules.
Yeah. Wait, so with the Naval Academy, you were in the Marines too?
Yeah, believe it or not.
How did that happen?
You can do it either out of the Naval Academy, because the Marines is sort of it's a subsect of the Department of the Navy.
Yeah,
most people don't know that. But,
well, thanks for your service, man.
Oh,
That's incredible. I love it. Well,
So anyway, I'm probably pretty rusty. 3 kids. It's been a while.
well, then we should make a wager. No, I'm kidding. Let's get out here. Let's play a little beer pong with the Cal Poly Gold. It's available right now wherever you go get your beer locally.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure if you go to the Firestone Walker website, you're going to find all the info you can on Cal Poly Gold. It's a great package. It tastes brilliant.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the team.
perfect timing
They
for
killed
it.
it. They killed it.
It's hot out. And I'll just say it's 12 packs, limited release. We'll sell through it. If people love it, we'll keep making it.
Love it, man.
So-
Hope you had fun here.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Always love chatting with you. Thanks, man, for being Up and Adam.
Likewise. Cheers.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Oh, do you want to hear some of the beer pong game? I just recorded video of when it was down to the final cup because I wasn't going to record literally a whole beer pong game. What do you think? I'm crazy? All right, so here, down to 1 cup each. First one with 1 cup was Nick. His shots. For the win.
Putting the pressure on me.
Sorry.
Ready?
Yeah. Off to the left. Ooh, close though. Oh, and just overshot it. Next up is me. I'm down to 1 cup.
Ready?
Air ball way far.
That looked good too.
That one. Front rim. Almost won the cup. Then it goes back to Nick. It is pressure-filled craziness right now. Absolute craziness. Nick takes his hat off, sets his hat aside. Oh, right side of the cup, and then he drills it. Nick Firestone, CEO, for the win in the only beer pong game I know that has been played with this Cal Poly Gold that he hasn't played officially. So there you go. That is Nick Firestone right there. Well done. Game of beer pong. He is a gentleman. Certainly a gentleman and dude knows how to play some beer pong. For real. Man. At FirestoneWalker.com. We've got all the links in the show notes, including where to find Cal Poly Gold while it's in season. Nick, appreciate you, brother. Next time, that beer pong match, it's going to go the other way. I want a rematch. All right. October in San Luis Obispo is going to be anything but ordinary. It's Arttober. It is back, baby. From live performances to public art, museums, and the always fun piano in the plaza, creativity is everywhere. Don't miss it. Find your Arttober adventure at slowcity.org/Arttober, ARTOBER. And we're going to be featuring all of the organizations spotlighted right here as well on Up and Adam. All right, I hope you're having a great beginning to your week. Thanks to Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show. Start again. MoonshinerCollective.com. Find them, stream them wherever you get your music. Also, Timbre Winery for giving us the Timbre Lobro Studios. Taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. Timbre, Timbre, TimbreWinery.com. Also, don't forget, brand new episode of my podcast with my friends at Paso Wine, Where Wine Takes You. It is a top 1% globally rated podcast. Listeners all over the world checking out Paso, one story at a time. I would love for you to join on board if you haven't. Brand new episode. We're talking to Ryan Pease, Riker Wall, and Alex Kemp from Peso Terre, Cordon Winery, and Brecken, respectively. Riker and Alex also have their own wines, Idola Wine Company and Terranian Wines, respectively. It's a fun show. It's a fun conversation. It was a long episode. That conversation was going so good. It was just flowing. So check it out. Ryan Pease, Alex Kemp, Riker Wall. Brand new episode of Where Wine Takes You from the great folks at Paso Wine. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever you're listening to this, you can listen to that. You can also go to PasoWine.com. Thanks to you for rating, reviewing, subscribing, just sharing the show with a friend, whatever you're up to, and helping others discover this community. It just means so much. Thank you. I'm your host, Adam Montiel. Back tomorrow. Till then, enjoy the beginning of your week. Enjoy your Monday. And thank you for being Up and Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start